Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the Amazingly Dope podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of having Mr. Travis Parnell, who has great insight on pretty much everything, but he is with us on the other coast. So, thank you for taking the time to meet with me. I guess early for you, huh? It's like 7:30, 5:30. What is it?
Correct, correct. Yeah, it's
6:30?
6:35 right now, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
sheesh.
you hosting and having me.
Oh yeah, trust me. This is like I already told you I find you extremely intriguing. I think you have great insight on things and I think you're going to help a lot of people with this particular topic. So, what we're talking about today, which he actually sent me this video clip and I was like, "Oh man." Cuz my opinion sometimes can go a little left. I'm not going to lie to you. So,
I get
this
it. I get it.
video evoked it put a sizzle in my spirit cuz I was like, "Ugh." So what I'm gonna do is play this clip. I was trying to put it on screen, but just to avoid any other additional technical difficulties, I am just gonna play it from my phone. So let's go. Fidelity is a result of men not being masculine and women not being feminine. If a woman is cheating, it's because she has a man that accepts the unacceptable and is unwilling to walk away when his boundaries are broken. And because she recognizes this, his days are numbered. And good women filter themselves off away from men that are too agreeable. Now, when women get cheated on, again, it's a lack of femininity. Married men that cheat, it's not that they love somebody else so much or they found someone more beautiful. They simply have a wife that is no longer catering to their needs in any way, shape, or form. Part of femininity is, I know he's coming home. Let me just warm up a bit of food. Or I know that he's got work at an early start. Let me just iron that shirt quickly because he's going to make a mess if he does it. It's part of femininity. What would the feminist movement say to that? They would argue that he's not a baby. But here's the reality. They are babies. Of course, he can make his own coffee in the morning, but there's something about your wife just putting it there without you asking for it. That just makes you feel seen. If she's never cooked a meal, she's never asked how his day is, but he's paying for everything, giving her a great life, they build resentment. So when women get cheated on, it's their lack of femininity. And when men get cheated on, it's their lack of masculinity. Infidelity is okay. So, not gonna
Whew,
lie. Yeah, right?
that's a lot to unpack.
So, let me ask you first. Do you agree with what he said?
I'll put it to you like this. I do believe that there is some validity to every circumstance.
Go
I,
deeper.
so so if you look at things on a spectrum and you look at like the not so much versus the way too much, I think like to generalize everything, like we kind of live somewhere in the middle. So you'll have your guys who want to cheat because of just lust or insecurities or just not having enough in life, and they feel like that's what that holds like their status in their name, and so. And then on the opposite end, you have guys who just do it because they don't feel loved or they're undermined or not appreciated, and that's just not men, that's women too, for whatever reasons. But we do have the extremes on each side.
That's a very safe answer.
Yes, for now,
That's
for
very
now.
politically correct. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this man irritated me because I feel like he spent a lot of time on what women did wrong. That's just me on the outside looking in. It wasn't a balanced response. It was more like a woman should do this and make his coffee. And if I'm like, wait a minute, this is where I think a lot of conversations kind of get a little messy because at the end of the day, it's about being a responsible and accountable adult. If you're in a relationship that no longer serves you, you have the option to leave. You don't have to cheat. That is a decision you made and now have to deal with whatever consequences come with it. So that's just for me generally, no matter what sex you are. However, in regards to feminine versus masculine, ugh, oh, well, I'm probably gonna get cussed out after this. I do agree that women who do not allow themselves to sit in their feminine energy and they exhibit masculine traits,
it
Okay.
may possibly make that man feel like he is not wanted or needed in the relationship. And what I've learned in my little 39 years is that the moment you don't make a man feel needed, he will find a woman who will.
I would agree. So I'm during this episode here, I will give you maybe a couple different vantage points
Okay.
of what I think now on and who I used to be. Woo, yes. Yeah, you're
Uh
gonna get
oh.
first-hand experience here. Listen, I almost wrote a book. But I kind of veered away from that. Men, first let me back up. I will agree with you as far as he didn't entertain the what's the term? The I guess the portion or the sided when it comes to the cheating aspect of men and women. I think he kind of leaned in. He used more adjectives when it came to what women don't do and this and that, which is unfair. 100%, I agree. But men will, most men, I don't want to generalize all men because
Right.
some men are really good. Most people are only as faithful as their opportunity.
Ooh.
So if your relationship has room for opportunity, someone is mishandling the relationship.
Mm-mm. Oh. Ouch.
Because the old me would find voids in my relationship. I wouldn't look for them, but if they were there, I would acknowledge them and then get that fulfilled instantaneously by whatever I needed. If it was a Friday night and I wanted to go out and go dance or hang out or whatever the case may be, that was
Mm-hmm.
filling that void that I was either not entertaining, doing, or being provided in my relationship.
Okay. Ooh. So I guess the question is, if you had these boys in your relationship, why did you stay?
We can convince ourselves for multiple reasons. I think to generalize everything, one of the biggest fears in the world is to start over.
Right.
No matter how bad something is at home, it's very tough to start over because it's a gray area between complacency and being comfortable. And I think once you get into a
Mm.
marriage or when you get into a relationship, things of that people lose sight of what's what. Like, am I just comfortable or am I complacent? Comfortable is what someone can provide for you. Complacency is something that you chose to have or that you acknowledge and you're settling in. So, and like I said, this is just my personal opinion.
Hmm. Mm.
Now, now who I am
Uh-huh.
today, zero tolerance when it comes to the structure of how society views relationship. I don't like the way um, what's deemed acceptable or what we feel like we have to do based on what we see or what we hear, whether it's a housewife show or a reality dating
Mm.
show. Um, it's simple, but it's so difficult at the same time.
Hmm.
I'm a
Is
big
it really
believer.
difficult though?
Consistency is the most difficult thing to have. This is, like I said, my opinion. Consistency is the
Hmm.
most difficult thing to have.
Is it difficult if you're with the right person though? Wouldn't it be easy to be consistent with the right person?
Facts, 100%. Is that
Okay,
person being just
yeah.
as consistent as you are? Agree. If they are, then it's fluid. Everything's going to be lovely, or it should be. I mean, you're going to have your normal ups and downs, your
Mm-hmm.
different vantage points and intakes on how things are perceived. But yeah, in all honesty, it should go really well when people are realizing that it's their job to fill each other up instead of drain each other. So
Hmm. So I guess what I learned is whew, I'm testifying today. Um when I got cheated on in my past relationship, I realized the error of my ways. And I could say that I had masculine energy. I wanted to be in control. I will control you to success now. Okay, this man got a good raise. I was there to support him. However, what I didn't take into consideration was his needs. It was like, let's just do this so we can have this. Let's get on this plan so you can fit my box of what I want you to be. Not asking him, what do you want? What's the vision for our
mm,
family? because control made me feel safe. You know what I mean? And I feel like
Wow,
for a
that's
lot of women, we need that reassurance. And when we don't have it, we create it. And that's where that masculine energy comes out. It's not because we want to be the men in the relationships, is that we don't trust the men that we're with to be the men in the relationships.
that is beautifully said. I couldn't agree with you more. So your void was the security or the foundation of what you saw your future to be. And so
Mm-hmm.
you decided to fill that with yourself, which is fine. Well, men will fill their void in lust, in extracurricular activities, because for most of the time, men only need attention like circumstantial. Like it's very situational when men need attention. Not all men, but some. Not
Can
all,
you
but some.
elaborate on that? What do you mean?
You you did what you did because you were looking at long term and longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Where most men were on a path, and when something small, like if there's a path and there's a pothole, we'll fill it instantly and keep going.
Mm. Okay.
So our ways or viewpoints on things is long term, yeah, we'll be okay. But right now, there's this small pothole I need to fix. Where most women think long term, they think inevitably of where they have a 5 year plan, whether they verbalize it or not. They think about it because men will tell you, or listen, I've been guilty of it myself. Well, I'll give you everything under the sun or preach it to you and tell you it's coming, but never really deliver on that. So they're holding on.
Mm. Baby.
So yes, women are holding on to that because you said it,
Yes, we don't
you
trust
promised it.
you.
Correct. And then we let you down, and then you feel that void by, I got to take control of this relationship now. And then we see it as, and which, whether it's right or wrong or indifferent, we see it as, here she comes again. Oh, she's nagging again. Let me get away from the house. Let me go entertain
Mm-hmm.
other people because I have this situation at home.
Yep. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, that's a lie. I ain't gonna lie. But I think we shouldn't. I don't know how men are. I can only speak from my point of view because I don't want to generalize either. But now, knowing this and having self awareness of like, those things, if I meet a man and I have a need to want to change that person, that's not the person for me. I don't date potential anymore. And I feel
You
like
did.
as women, we are always taught to date potential, help him, get him out the dirt, blah, blah, blah. And then we actually build resentment because we built you up. And we don't allow you to be a man. We are literally taking you from your mama to us and help finish raising you, and then get mad when you grow up and you want to go be with someone else.
Because, yeah, I guess a lot of us have been enabled for most of our lives. You
Mm-hmm.
said something that I actually was part of a men's group, and this was one of the topics that after the men's group, it kind of weighed on me because I had just gotten divorced at the time, and all the guys in the group were still married, and they wanted me to kind of have a little insight on
Mm.
the good, the bad, and the ugly side of everything. And I went home that night and I started writing. I love to write. And I don't write to entertain anybody. I just write to express myself. And half the time
Right.
I'll never go back and read it. But I wrote something down and I highlighted it. And I said, hey, don't date potential, date pattern. And I was like, I like that. So we made that the next topic when we all decided to get together. And then I realized I'm guilty of that myself. I was either the victim or the perpetrator in that moment because I would promise everything.
Ooh.
Okay. And that was my pattern. I was promising but never deliver.
Mm.
So my wife at the time was excited for what she thought was to come, and I didn't deliver on that. So that, and I know it took a lot out of me to become self-aware for that situation.
Yeah.
But now that it's been 11 years removed since then, almost 11 years, I date pattern. Show me who you are. My grandma told me this at a young age. She goes, when people show you who they are, you have to believe them.
Yep. The first time.
Right. And
The
we make
first time. I keep
every
messing
excuse
up
for
that.
everybody.
Yes. Yeah, I've done that. I ain't gonna
We,
lie. I got
mm,
I'm gonna say mesmerized. We don't use that word. And I looked at I looked past some flaws. And then at the end, you're like, that's the same thing I saw on day one, and I ignored, and I kept ignoring, I kept ignoring because they had other alluring, you know, attributes. We'll say that. But at the end, it doesn't matter. So I know that men are visual, right? So do you
Correct.
think that a man, let's say a man is a butt man, right?
Okay.
And then he marries a woman like me that got half a cup of booty back here. It's just a little disappointing. My party's in the front. So then let's say you marry somebody who is not your physical type, but everything else, all those other boxes she checks. Are you then as a man gonna say, every time you see like a big booty walk by, like, dang, wish I could tap that? Are you gonna be like, I'm okay, I'm happy with what I have at home?
An
You think that's
immature
where
man, an
okay.
immature man who permeates his relationship on sex will have that type of like I guess ideology when it comes to being in a relationship. If you reach the point of marriage, let's say you do the there is no wrong and right way to court somebody, right? There is some
Mm-hmm.
more gentleman like and more I guess more women like ways to court someone, and that's a broad range there. But if you are wanting to be with someone who only if you want to marry someone who only sees you on the physical standpoint and you marry someone knowing that, then like I mean I hate to say it, but you made your bed, you got to lie in it. Because at that point, like if we're courting and dating, you're gonna know exactly. I'm gonna marry you based on who you are, um, how you make me feel. Do you bring joy, contentment? Um, do you want to see me succeed? And do you have my back? That I'm huge on that. Do you have my back
Yeah.
under every circumstance?
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you marry someone on the physical standpoint, either you rushed it or you really didn't know the individual at all.
I agree. Very much so. And as a woman who has been objectified since she was wearing a bra at 12, it gets old. You get tired of hearing like, look how pretty you are, look at your chest or your butt or whatever, you find attractive about someone. So I went through like this whole like I'm just testifying for real with you. I don't know why I'm telling you
Come
all
on,
this.
come on,
Um some things health wise after I got divorced. It's like, dang, God, what else? Like how many hits can I take?
right?
And it changed like a lot of things for me. And it made God literally took everything away from me that I thought made me beautiful to show me how beautiful I am. So I don't want anybody who is looking at me in that way and they don't see who I am. Because if all this changes and things happen, I need to know that you are still going to be there and not based on like, well, she don't look like that anymore. Whatever the case may be, I don't want any finicky people in my life. Whether it be a friend, family, husband, whatever. I don't want those people around me. So I want to create an environment that is reciprocating energy of support and love and honesty and transparency. And we're all just trying to uplift each other and grow, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
I am
yes.
not going to settle for someone who just is like, I really don't feel. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't feel special. Like when a man's like, "Oh, Smitty," or whatever, like I don't feel special because a man. My grandmother told me this. It's totally different what your grandmother said. I'm gonna lie. She said a man will sleep with a hole in the wall. Like you ain't special, girl. Like a man will find a warm hole anywhere.
Hole in a heartbeat. A hole in a heartbeat. Right?
Sometimes not the heartbeat. I'm just. I'm just saying.
unfortunately, that is the extreme of some men out there. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but it's reality, right?
It's reality, but I feel like when men cheat, this is my opinion, it is based on who they imagine that other woman to be to them. Because a lot of men get divorced, and if they had a mistress, they pursue that relationship with that mistress and realize she's just as annoying as the wife you just divorced.
Thank you. And most men don't realize that.
She was just the fantasy of what you thought because you left home. She was cooking and cleaning and, doing the stuff you like. And now you're in it. And you're like,
Right.
dang, she's worse than the other one was. And you start missing your wife.
Because there's no full on commitment when that's going on. So
Mm-mm.
I had the worst time with commitment. I did.
Woo!
I did. I
What?
mm-hmm. The old me, let's go, in my 20s, in my early 20s, my late 20s, I had a hard time with, and not just relationship commitment, but just making anything of importance like final. Like I didn't, because there's no going back. There's no changing. There's no taking back. There's none of that. And so I would allow people in my life and only give them so much because of the temporary space that I felt safe with people. So you only
Mm.
knew me in this capacity, and that's all you will ever see me as. And that's all I ever wanted you to know because it was safe, it was comfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
Where, here's the pattern, that this is why I was in the situation I was in. I'm only showing you one side, and that's all you see. So you think that's who I am, and you see that's the pattern of who I am. So you indulge and you like that person, where I have a whole storm going on over here that I, either swept under a rug or I didn't want to, that I don't want to deal with.
Right.
So nonetheless, I don't want you to have to see it or have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But you made a comment, and I want to ask you, when you said it took God to take everything away from you.
Yeah.
And I'll allude to this in a little bit here. Were you by yourself? I guess status wise when you went through that.
Yes.
Okay. When I had my epiphany or my turnaround, I was by myself. It took me dating myself, but not actually dating, but being by myself
Yeah.
to actually be aware of who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to not like those parts about me. I'm not saying like I didn't have love for myself, but the stuff that I knew was wrong, I had to make myself not like them in order to become the man I am today. And it was a rough 3.5 years
Yeah.
because we have needs and we have things that we want to fulfill and goals and relationships with people that we would like to pursue. But I had to put a hold on that because I was only giving them the good Trav instead of the whole Trav. And I was it broke my heart. I didn't know what a real relationship was until I finally decided to give myself fully 100, good, bad, the ugly. Here's the track record, the report card. Here's everything. Do as you wish with it.
Yep.
I've never felt so free in a relationship. Now that relationship didn't last, but I can say that internal feeling that I got from being able to tell the truth, to not cover up, not hide, not save it under Pizza Hut's phone number in my phone, or
Ooh, not Pizza
right,
Hut.
right.
Damn. She put Domino's.
But just that men already have, we create these situations, so we like to play victim to circumstances we create.
Mm.
So 100%, because the world is already stacked against you in
Right.
whatever capacity. As far as being a woman, there's things that you will deal with, Sonny, that I will never, um, I can never have any empathetic like posture to you because I'm not you. I'm not female. I won't understand, and then
Right.
and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Okay. I really never see. This is what I used to do. Don't judge me, y'all.
not at all, not at all.
Somebody's gonna judge me. It's fine. I don't care. I never cheated technically. Okay, so what I
Mm-hmm.
would do was create an argument. You know what I'm saying? And then be like, you know what? And another thing. And then hang up the phone. Do what I was gonna do. Wait about 5 to 7 business days, and then hit that person back up. Like, you ready? You ready to talk? Blah blah blah, and then whatever. Um, I could say, even though it was a young relationship, the most transparent relationship I had was my ex boyfriend from high school. We were together for 10 years,
Oh wow.
but what kept us together that long was we were brutally honest with each other. He could be like, "Listen, I met this girl today. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what I want to do," and I'd be like, "Do you want to pursue this? You want to see where it goes?" He would say yes. We would take a break, and if it worked out, it worked out. If it didn't, we would see where we were when he was done. But at least he gave me the option to decide what I wanted to do. He never lied to me about anything.
Right.
Um,
Wow.
and it was like, like I don't even know how to say this, extreme honesty. Because it was like, even if you knew it was gonna hurt that person, I want you to hear it from me than someone else. And we
Mm.
kept that up for 10 years. Unfortunately, the thing that tore us apart is I love to travel. I like to move around. I am not a I don't know. I don't want to do things locally. Like, let's go somewhere. Let's go to like, I don't know, Puerto Rico or I went to Vegas like 8 or 9 times already. Like I like
Let's
to see
explore.
other
Let's go. Let's
things.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like God made this whole earth and people only stay on like one little blip. And I don't want to do that. So I'm actually when I was working at a cancer hospital, I met this man who was dying, and he was rich. Like he was in that super presidential suite they have in the hospitals for the rich people, right?
You got like a
And
like a bit like a gold studded IV going around.
right, it's platinum
You
oxygen.
got that premium.
So he was in there alone, right? And I went in
Mhm.
there just to get some paperwork for him to sign. And he was like, how old are you? And I was 20. Dang, I was young, 26 at the time. And he was like, you see, no one's here with me. I'm here by myself. I'm probably going to die soon. And he was like, can I just give you some advice? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he was like, your kids will never appreciate the money you give them. Your family will never come see you like this. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people don't want to just see you die. So they don't come.
Correct. Right.
So what you can do while you're living is make memories with the people you love because that's what you really leave them with.
Mm.
So when he said that, I was like, it just stuck in my head. He was like, take
That
that
part.
trip, go somewhere, whatever. So this is how I've lived my life since 26, and I've always gone somewhere.
And how
So
does that make you feel?
blessed,
Yeah.
grateful, because some people never leave their city.
Very
You know
true.
what I'm saying? I took my son to the Bahamas last summer. Like I'm gonna show him as much as I can.
He'll never forget it.
He'll never forget it. I was blessed to go to Jamaica at like 7, 7, 8, 9, 12. So I got to see the others, like another place, and then they sent us to Jersey every summer. So that was the hood. So it showed me some other stuff. It was my first trap house,
The
prostitute,
real deal,
drive
for sure.
by. Yeah. But it taught me that life is not in this little bubble you live in. There's people living other lives, and it helped me appreciate things. My mother took us to feed the homeless. I met this young woman who had HIV, and we came back 2 weeks later and she was dead. That was like my
It,
first like devastation because this is life. She
right.
couldn't
It's
pay for her
real.
drugs.
Right.
Right. So, I just exposed my son to as much so that he can make an informed decision of how he wants to live his life. Because all I was the vessel that got him here. God has a plan for him before he even got to me.
Amen.
So I am just here to nurture that. But
So
for me,
then,
I couldn't be with a man who didn't want to go anywhere. He's an extreme introvert. Like he doesn't like to leave the house. He goes to work, comes home, that's it. He ain't go nowhere else.
so that was my situation when I was married as well. Would you say this then for just, and this is, I get not a personal question, but it's
Sure, ask me
personalized just for
anything.
you. Would you say that knowledge is based on experience?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So
just had
with
this
you,
argument.
so with, right. So with you having an experience level, let's say we'll call life 1 out of 10. Like let's say it's stacked up with you having an experience level of, let's say by the time you were 25 at about a 6 or 7. We Did you date someone who had an experience level of 3 and 4? Now that
Maybe
doesn't
two.
that's now there's nothing wrong with that because that's just
Mm-mm.
the small town culture or how they were raised or the mindset or the
Yes.
complacency or comfortability that that person likes to live in.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And maybe is that why it didn't work because
Yes.
you knew what the world was capable of because you've seen yourself in it where other people don't because they haven't had a chance to experience it yet.
Yes. And I realized after getting divorced what I value more. So I need someone who is willing to be my life partner, my travel partner, my dance partner, my sex partner. Like I need all of that because I don't want to settle in those areas. And at one point I felt like marriage was that. You settle for that. It's horrible to say. You're like, well, he ain't this, but he don't like to do this, but um and I realize now like I want to genuinely like the person I'm with. Like I want us to actually like compliment each other's fly. Like I
Right?
want us to
Yeah.
actually like have fun, even if it's just us. wherever the hell we're at. Like, we don't care about y'all. We don't do this, and actually have
Exactly.
fun. I don't want someone who's like, I don't want to go. I can't. I can't.
Yeah,
I cannot.
I'm at the point in my life where I want a secret handshake with my girl. You know what I mean? Like that's our thing. I want to be able to look at her and be able to read her with just looks. Like if we're
I
out
went
somewhere,
nonverbal. Like, we can have a whole conversation without saying anything. Yes.
like people watching, especially here in the town that I live in, like I want to sit somewhere in a nice open area, and then we both see the same thing, and we give each other that look or
I
that,
love the people
and
watch.
have that and just and exactly and have that moment of laughter and clarity without having to verbalize it. That's what that's what I seek. That's what
Yeah.
I seek, and I think there's nothing better than that. The only way to get there. I took this course. It's called Saving Your Marriage Before You Get Married.
Ooh,
Ooh,
do tell.
I didn't realize this, but think about this. Okay, let's say you and I, for hypotheticals here. Let's say you and I are in a relationship, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we are strong. We feel unified, and like I would know everything about you or what I deemed to know, and vice versa. But I don't. Let's say I like for here we go. Here's a scenario. Christmas for me was very big in my family, and let's say it wasn't for you, and so I don't know that because we've never had that line of communication with each other. So on
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve, well, I want to watch the game. I don't really, or I want to go downstairs and you don't
Mm-hmm.
because of um, how you were raised. I think it's very important to how you were raised says a
Yep.
lot about how you will find your partner as well too. Not saying
Mm-hmm.
it's the end all be all, but if if the other person doesn't express like, hey, Christmas is big to me because of this and this is why,
Yeah.
it's kind of you have to do things of that nature. And I fell short of that a lot of times because I married listen, great lady, great woman, mother of my children. She's an outstanding mother.
Yeah.
Did I fall short in some areas? I most certainly did. I will take ownership in the areas where I need to take the accountability for. But she grew up way different than I did, and I didn't
Yeah.
realize that was a divider until I got a chance to reflect. She grew up with both parents in the household, where both my parents were passed away before I was 8 years old.
Right.
So her having a relationship with her mother was important to me because I never got a chance to experience that at an older age. So if I saw that her and her mother would have a disagreement, I would be upset about it. Be like, hey, you don't talk to your mom like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I would hold that in, and I wouldn't say. I just wow, I can't believe like that's my wife talking to her mother that way. Like I would do anything just to hear my mother utter my name again.
Yes.
And you speak that way, and so it was those things that I never got to express while dating that were important because I didn't realize they were going to be as important later on in the relationship. So
Exactly. And that's where that knowledge comes from that you were talking about. So I thought it wasn't an argument per se, a disagreement. We're going to call it
okay,
that. It was a young man who was telling me that he can give a single person advice on staying married, like the longevity of being married.
okay.
And I said, I don't think you can because you've never been married before. I equate everything to prom. Don't just come with me
Oh,
on this
I'm
journey.
running with you. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So prom looks great on TV. Women get dressed up. You get your tux. It's the night of your life. And then you get to prom and you're like, this is homecoming with some bitter clothes. This ain't all I
Right.
thought it was gonna be, right? I equate that to marriage, having kids. It sounds great, it looks great, but the reality of it is not as glamorous as it looks, right? So if a person who's never been married is trying to give me advice on what marriage is, I respectfully decline that information. not
I
saying
would
that
agree.
you're not saying that what you're saying is invaluable. If you just don't have the experience behind it to really give me something that I can actually utilize, in my marriage, right? I would take advice from a person who's been married for like 40 years, 20 years, whatever, because apparently you're still with this person. What tools can you give me so that when I get married again, I can, see my pitfalls and make those adjustments now, right? So
100%.
I'm not trying to disregard his feelings. And I told him that's why I apologized to him. I wasn't trying to disregard him as a man. I was just saying that some subject matters should be based on a subject matter expert. I'm just saying.
Correct. I would agree with you 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, he got a little upset. So, with the now, the fact that you can reflect back on your marriage and say, okay, this is why I got to this point. Because when I got divorced, I was so happy. I had therapy the same day I got divorced. When I say if I could have kicked my heels up in that courthouse, when the judge said your divorce is final, I was like, like I couldn't keep it in. I was so happy. So I go to therapy and I'm like, I did it. I'm done. Da, da, da. He was like, and now we got to find out why you chose him. I was like, damn.
ooh, wait a minute.
Yes,
And
that
wait,
hit me too.
no, no, we're done. He's out of the picture. I don't want to have to
Mm-hmm.
go back and relive. I mean, that's just,
So what I
ooh.
found was that the man I chose was me indirectly trying to fix my father. Right? Hit you in your
Ooh,
shana now. Hit you right here.
ooh,
There, there.
what is
Eh.
that? Elizabeth, I'm coming for you. Not the Fred
That
Sanford. Huh?
hurt.
Yeah.
So I saw my dad today. I love my dad. I was a
Hmm.
daddy's little girl, right?
Hmm.
However, my dad has um always found women to take care of him. I'll say that. I'm respect his privacy. So I felt, and seeing that, I felt like I should be a woman to help my man, right? Not realizing
Ah.
that, because I'm like, if I could just do this, if my dad would just do this, he would be this. So I would meet a man with those same deficits and be
Hmm.
like, if I just do this and do this, he could be this. Instead of just saying, this is who he is, I'm gonna love him for who he is, and grow with that person. It was like, let me change this though. I love you, but no, do this
Right,
too.
right.
You know what I mean? And that wasn't fair to that person because it wasn't me really loving them. It was loving the potential I saw in them.
Mm.
So then I had to step back and change the vision that had honestly been implanted in my mind from, relatives, my parents, whatever, of what my husband, what my life should be like. Because on paper, we were great financially. We had a house, cars are pretty much paid for. We had what people aspire to have, and I was the most depressed. I was the
Wow.
most sad.
Mm.
You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So it wasn't my vision. It
Right.
was a vision everybody thought I should have. I went to college, I got the degrees, still paying for them. Um, so, I had the quote unquote success. I had the good Facebook and Instagram pictures, but inside, this is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
None of
Turmoil,
it.
empty, felt empty. How could you be so full of everything else, but yet feel so empty?
Because it wasn't the life I wanted. It wasn't the person I wanted. I don't think we wanted each other, honestly. I'm just going to
It's
keep it a
almost like,
buck.
it's almost like, what do they say? Like, oh, you interview for a job and you lied to say you do all these things to get the job, and then you get the job and you don't want to do
Like,
anything.
I don't want to do all this.
Right,
Yeah, it was
right.
like that. And as a woman, we lose our identity, right? Because my mother died when I was 12. So I totally understand where you're coming from. So anytime I dated a man and they treated their mother a certain way, it would just affect me. Like, I would get my
It
right arm for
hurt.
an hour with my mother,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So I
Facts.
just put, and then for me, being a mother and not having my mother is just like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Definitely. It weighs that because
so
that was an intricate part of our childhood. So not having that and then seeing you abuse it in our eyes hurts. It hurts 100%. 100%.
exactly. I mean, there's so many moments that happen in your life that parent's not there for, and it hits you like, dang, especially when they have theirs, and you're like, why don't you like appreciate the fact that you can physically see them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, even at my wedding, it was just like, you know,
Wow.
graduating from with all these degrees, it's like, it's like those moments you're like, I wish you were here. When I had my son, I was like, I wish my mom was here to help me. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Same, same, same,
So it's
same,
like
same.
depressing. Mother's Day is hard for me because I'm a mother, yay, but then I want mine. I want my mom.
Right?
So I really need someone who may not understand everything, right? I don't want you to understand me. Just give me the environment I need to feel safe enough to be vulnerable with you. If I just need to cry, I don't want to talk. Sometimes I don't want to talk. I just want to cry, lay down, just rub my back and just be quiet. Don't talk to me.
Right. Physically be within arm's reach. That's all I need
Right.
right now.
Just give me that little reassurance I need because I will get over this. I will be fine, but I just need to know that I have you. That's really all I ever needed. And I didn't have that. My my ex would be like, I don't know what to do. This is weird. He wasn't a very emotional person. So you're right. It's based on how people are raised. And conflict resolution is huge. How do you deal with conflict? Because some
Now,
people, ooh,
do you
what's that?
want today's answer, or do you want the
Give me
petty
both.
Parnell? Okay.
Petty.
The petty Parnell, Petty LaBelle, Richard Petty. You could, I mean, the old me. This is this was my go-to. I've never built up so much resentment for someone that wasn't justified because of what I'm about to bring up. I would see something I didn't like, hear something I didn't like, and not say a word because guess what? You know why? Travis is easygoing. He's very nonchalant. He's free. He's just like this little light, this little ball bouncing around. So I never would entertain things that would upset me, which is my God-given right.
Mm.
But those things that I needed to entertain that upset me were happening in my marriage, and I wasn't vocalizing anything. So what I would do was, there's three types of men in a relationship. You have your seeker, your doer, and your camper. I was a camper because I would pack so much stuff and hold it in, and just hold
Mm.
it in to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm resenting you now just because you sneezed, because I held on to all of this, because I never got a chance to vocalize or express myself because I didn't want to be deemed a certain type of way, or didn't want an argument, or I just wanted to get out of the house on a Friday night with my boys. So I'm going to keep quiet about this situation so I can go hang with them.
Mm.
And I was very manipulative, and
Oof.
it had more damage on me than it did on our actual marriage. And so I guess the worst thing in a marriage is divorce. It took me so long to recover from who I was to who I am today.
Wow, that's deep. Thank you for your honesty. Wow. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna tell my bad and then we'll go to the good now. Um so I realized that oh man. Oof, hope I bless somebody with this. I was very manipulative. I am very persuasive. We're gonna use that word
Mm-hmm.
because this is the internet. So I knew the powers I possessed. So I knew if I wanted something from the person I was with, I knew I could just do that thing he likes, and you know,
Right.
it is what it is. But I was very passive as well, so I avoided conversations because I just didn't want to even like go there with him because I knew it'd be easier for me to just do my one thug thizzle and get what I want and just
Right.
keep it
Skirt.
moving,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then the resentment started to build because he was still doing the things that irritated me that I never talked to him about, right? So then when it did come out, it came out with like anger and horrible words and all that
Animosity,
stuff.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, where's this coming from? I'm rolling my eyes, just looking at him like, I can't believe he's breathing right now. Just, ugh, to his
Right.
face,
Right.
right? Everything, like, why you chew like that?
Yeah, I hate the way you scratch. You're just like, you become so petty because you're
Yes.
grooming yourself. You're grooming yourself to be unfavorable in that relationship. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so where are you at now?
With
Or
conflict
not?
resolution, with conflict
Mm-hmm.
resolution, I take the moment to, let's say that whatever the situation is, a disagreement, or we're out in public and I say something I should have said, or I feel any type of way, or my significant other feels that type of way. I say, hey, I want to talk about it. Not at the moment. When you're ready, it's totally fine. I will go home, and this could, I mean, it may sound lengthy, but it's not really. I will write down what I feel, what I want to convey, and present that to you. I mean, so I've had cases within the last, 5, 6 years where I literally had to handwrite read a letter to express myself. And then I said, hey, I'm not expecting a rebuttal right now. I just needed to get this off of my chest. Take as much time as needed, and let's reconvene later on.
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing for conflict resolution is I needed to feel safe enough to speak to you, and then I had to express myself, because I can speak to you all day long but never express myself, because I can say
Mm-hmm.
exactly what I need to say to you in order to get where I need to get so we can go to bed, and because I got to be at work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was tired of doing that. I was tired of being, I was undermining my own value all the time, and that was my conflict like resolution, because for the most part, like when you're upbeat, like I mean, Sonny, I would say you're pretty upbeat, but I'm everything is great. So for me to have conflict
Mm-hmm.
is a lot.
Right.
It takes a lot, and so when I do have it, I don't express myself because I'm so used to. It's like this. This is how I had to equate most of my life when people ask me how did it feel to be me or what's it like.
Mm-hmm.
It always felt like I was on stage because I was never really myself. So I was entertaining people who would watch or who would quote unquote pay to see. And then I would go
Mm-hmm.
back to that dressing room and take all that makeup, take the all the cool stuff, the aesthetics and everything off. And then I have to deal with me. But guess then I close that mirror because I don't want to deal with me.
Yep.
I'm gonna go back to where I'm appreciated because they only know this good side of me.
Right.
So
That's really insightful, and I really understand where you're coming from. So for me, when I was going through my, I guess I'm gonna call it my time alone with God. Uh, so there's this book, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Anyone wants to read that book. So when I was going through my storm, as we have been blessed to learn, the term of when you're going through some shit. Um, what that book taught me is that I was so concerned with what people thought of me, the mask that I portrayed, my ego, that I would protect it at all cost, right? And what I was really seeking was like inner peace, right? So I look for all of these things externally, whether it be through a job, a man, a career choice, a business, whatever that is, not realizing everything that I needed was already inside of me. I just kept avoiding it. Like you say, like, I don't look at myself, I don't want to do it. So when people say doing shadow work, inner work, that crap hurts like a
it does.
right? But going through that, it's kind of like I equate it to a house, right? Think about being in a house with a whole bunch of doors and hallways, right? And you keep
Okay.
going down these hallways and you keep opening doors. It's a door of like divorce, a door of like bankruptcy, hell, whatever you're going through, right? It's a door
Mm-hmm.
that you have to walk through and deal with. And then there's this door that you keep passing up and you don't know why, and you open it. And when you get in that room, it is like a balcony of a perfect view of a perfect place, like that's the most peaceful vision you've ever seen. And I had been in that house the whole time and you had no idea.
I love that. Woo.
So when I found that room, like I know where to go internally to find my peace. I don't seek it from another person. I don't put the responsibility of my happiness in someone else's hands. It's
That
not your
part.
responsibility to make me happy. We are supposed to be two happy people coming together and being happy together. So now knowing that and having that inner peace, I don't seek to disrespect you. I want to create an environment that makes you feel safe enough to trust me, to be vulnerable to tell me how you feel. And I need that back. So, me learning what I needed or what I needed to love me is now I know what I need someone else to love me like too. So, I love me and I want you to love me like I love me. That makes sense.
Right, right.
So, knowing that, I know that I need to reciprocate. I need to be able to be like, babe, tell me what's going on. Like, and sometimes I have to take a break and say, I want to give myself space to respond to you in the best mood. So I'm going to take a pause and I'll come back because what I don't want to do is react and not listen to you.
Mm. Thank you for that.
So,
Thank you for that. And I hope whoever really watches this, that statement, that takes a lot to do because we are amplified by the situation and we like to be just harsh or direct or not mindful or self-aware of what we're getting ready to say to somebody.
yeah.
But yeah, but acknowledging is everything. So the fact that you did, you almost made me speechless, woman. That's good. I
I was about to
appreciate it.
say
That takes a
something, but
lot.
we ain't gonna go. um No, it's honestly, I feel like sometimes why arguments get to the point of just straight destruction is because there's no mutual respect there. It's two people fighting to be right instead of fighting to be happy together.
Mm, mm.
And I don't want to be right. I want to be happy. So I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you in three different ways what I'm trying to say. It's let me listen to you. What do you need from me that I'm not giving you? Because when people, in my opinion, are angry, it is fear coming to the surface. What are you scared of? What am I doing and triggering you with my actions that's making you react this way? What adjustments can I make for you to make this relationship viable for both of us?
I'll tell you something that really that okay. So I was married for 10 years, and I've only dated like actual relationships, actual like foundation strong or like, actual relationships. And out of those relationships, let's say a random number, let's say there's 10 of those relationships, at least 40% of the time I experience what I'm getting ready to share with you as a man. So I don't know if you're out there, you may be able to convey or have some type of association with me. I know that women are direct,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's just maybe the women that I got a chance to date or that I attracted.
Mm-hmm.
It was very tough for women to be direct and patient at the same time. And that's where it was so hard because women don't have a problem telling me how you feel and what you need and how things should be done. But are you patient enough to allow me to do those things? Because
Mm-hmm.
she would be just, this is what I need, XYZ. And then the next day was, hey, I also need XYZ. Baby, I want to give you the world, but you got to be patient. As a man, you have to deliver on her patience, though. You can't like hold that, you can't coddle that too long because she's told you, she's given you patience, and now you have to act. But for me, it was just one after another. I'm like, I feel like I'm being like ganged up on a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's like
Yeah.
I want to give you those things, but I need you to be patient with me because I'm not to my comfortability yet with myself to express that with you yet, or whatever the situation may be. So
I think in those situations, I don't know those young ladies, but when I did stuff like that, it's because that's the controlling part. I need to do this, and this. I need this, or I can't do this, or what, that's control. So they didn't feel safe either. So it's two people not feeling safe, trying to create safe environment. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? So what I do is I meet people with no expectations other than to meet someone new, right? And wherever that leads us to, I am okay with
so
because I
be it,
don't
because it's
operate in
honest.
fear.
Hmm.
Yeah, when people operate in fear, that's when jealousy comes up. That's when those fights come up. That's when I'm going through your phone. I don't do any of that. Like, if that's what we're doing, then this is toxic now.
One
So
hundred
I
percent.
meet you with like, I want to get to know you and let's both communicate in a way that makes us both feel safe. And then we see where that leads us, right? If it
Definitely.
leads us to friendship, that's okay. That's
But it was
fine.
pure. It had open and honest intentions. Everything was
Hmm.
laid out. It was conveyed. It was mutual. It was an understanding level there, and then boom. So
Yeah,
you
but
either
I don't operate in fear. I'm not afraid to be alone either, though.
it
So I
almost sounds
don't,
like you should. It almost sounds like no matter what, like an interaction with somebody should always be on good terms, whether it end in a friendship or relationship. Because if you are honest, pure, and an upstanding, just functioning person of society, you shouldn't have any hate, any type of like demise or anything. It should either be, hey, this works, or hey, you know what? We've reached our course. We'll just leave it where it's at.
I
But
it
we're
takes nothing to be kind. So
free.
I am not going to. I don't feel like I need to cuss you out or whatever that may be. I'll just say, unfortunately, this isn't, what we thought it was going to be. I wish you the best of luck because I honestly do want people to find their happiness. And it may not be with me. I'm not going to be everyone's type. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I am very me, and I don't change.
Hmm.
I know when to be. I know when to, switch it up. Listen, I got a job. I'm professional. I got things to lose.
All
So,
right, the customer service voice comes into play. Yeah,
yes,
for
hello,
sure.
yes, but I am going to be me and I want someone to love me for me and I don't have to hide or suppress who I am to make you feel comfortable with who I am. I'm not doing that ever again. So you either accept me for all of the things I've done, been through, my flaws and all, or we could just agree to just, let that be where it is. And I'm okay with that because there's someone out there. If I trust God, yeah, let me go there, to get me through all the things that I've gone through in my life, why am I going to doubt him when it comes to dating?
Why start now?
I'm not going to. So if I don't get married till when did Tina Turner get married? I was at my grandmother's house today. That's another reason why we had to postpone this. Getting cussed out by a Jamaican elderly person is okay.
It's a whole nother level.
Jamaicans just cuss people out in a way that you just feel like, ooh, you don't even know what they're saying, and you're like, dang. Um, so she was telling me that Tina Turner didn't get married till she was like 53. No,
Oh, with
she
her
didn't start
with
meet her second husband until she was 53. They got married when she was 73, and then she died at
wow,
83.
wow. I mean,
So
so
I'm
we got time. We got time. We got 44 years until we get to 30 to 83. So yes, okay, Tina. Okay,
I'm
Tina.
just saying I would rather wait
Hmm.
for the right person than to waste my time with the wrong person again. So I'm okay being alone. Now the issue is I'm really comfortable being alone. So I
Hmm.
gotta learn how to like let someone in too at the same
How to
time.
open up and kind of yeah.
But I don't know. I enjoy it. It's like, is it realistic to be like, if I meet somebody, can we just both keep our homes and we just see each other when we see each other, and then we just, I'll spend the night at your house, you spend the night at my house, and then the kids stay in their own stuff. And then I was like, I don't know if that's realistic, but you
I'll
know,
tell you this. I do want to share this because it kind of I felt it like in the back of my head here when you were
mm,
talking about how you were in that manipulative or in that control. Um, there's another way, and I was. This is why I wanted to write the book. And listen, don't judge me. I'm only
I
telling you
can't.
of who I used to be, not
Right.
who I am or what my beliefs now and my operating system. But I wanted to, it's just horrible. Forgive me, all but it's real. No
Go
matter how
ahead.
bad it is, I'm real. I wanted to
Hmm.
write a book on how to get away with cheating because it was simple. And I was 21 to 28, 29. It was, here's the thing I'm only saying this to bring light to shared awareness on this. There's innocent control. And I was the king of it. What I would do was foreshadow what I wanted to take place in the later part of the week and then build you up to that and lead you right there. And you had no idea that was going to
Not
take place.
gaslighting.
No, not
That
even,
sounds
not as
like a
much.
little gaslighting.
So, like, let's say my boys hit me up the Friday prior, and I was like, hey, oh, we made an understanding of, hey, okay, so we have date night, you have your girls' night, and I have my guy night. And we got that one last week. So there's 4 weeks in a month. We have our date night, you have girls' night, and I have my guys' night. So all three of those are gone. That last week is a family orientated night. But my boys just hit me up, and I know that they're coming in town, and I want to hang out with them. I would prepare you all week long for that. I would throw out hints and I would foreshadow stuff like, oh man, I wonder what happened to what's his name. It'd be nice to see those guys, knowing that I know that they're coming. You don't, and I would and that's just a vague scenario, but I would do that all the time. Once I realized I could get away with it, I would use it for everything. I would set myself up for at least a month or two in advance, and just kind of, oh yeah, you remember this, babe? I said it. No, I remember I told you this about this already, and I would just perpetuate what I wanted to do, and just every time I would say yes to stuff without checking in because I knew what I wanted to do and how I was going to get there to go hang out with my buddy because that was more important than being a real man, than being a husband, than working on my
Mm.
relationship. And if I could have gone back and slapped myself in the face, I probably would have. She didn't ask for that, didn't deserve that,
Mm.
and at the same time, like, I'm not afraid to admit those things now because I am more proud of what I am today than the things I was doing at that time. So if I can
Mm.
help someone or show someone, or someone can go, hey, you know what? No, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about this because I heard this on the Amazingly Dope podcast. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean?
That's right. That is right. Yeah, I hope that my hope is always to just um, fix those fractures in the communication with men and women, right? Because this is why I always have a male co-host, because it's easy. If I had another woman in here to be like, "Yeah, girl, we should,"
Girl.
girl, that's what I did too.
Right.
Um, I need
Period.
that. I need that other perspective because I feel like as women we need to hear both sides. Because sometimes we are all like, "Yeah, girl, don't do that, don't deal with that," and it leaves us still stuck and single, unfortunately, because we think what we're doing is right and it's not, and then we're surprised why we're still dealing with the same boo la la, right?
Right.
So it's about taking accountability, growing. I always say manifesting, and just
Mm.
creating a new vision. Take the vision out of your mind of I need to be married by this stage. I need to have this by this stage. I need to be this person because it makes you become a person that you don't even think you'll even like. Honestly, you'll avoid that mirror for years to not see who you
Whew.
really are.
You make me want to write right now. Where's my journal at? Like I literally so I did share some, not so redeeming moments of my past, but there's two things that I would encourage people to do.
Okay.
And one of them is you mentioned a book, and I'm just gonna step out of the frame for a second. The healthiest and most productive relationship I had ever been a part of was after I got a chance to read Kingdom Man by Tony Evans. And there's the female
Oh,
version that's called
really?
Kingdom Women.
Hmm.
It showed me everywhere where I needed to fix myself. And
Wow.
it comes at you full on. And every chapter, I mean, I read the book just moved me. It changed a lot of what I perceived myself, my expectations, um, in a relationship, in myself, in my significant other, in my spouse. And the other important thing was if you, I come from a background, you come from a background. You have your girlfriends, I have my guy friends. You have your
Mm-hmm.
beliefs and relationships. If you can get rid of those outside influences, and I promise, I know, and I listen, I will get in the pulpit, and if I have to preach, I will. If you put like your relationship under the the aspect of allowing God to be the center of your relationship, you can't do each other wrong when you're following the beliefs. There's no room for anything else. Right now there's like this room wide open, and this is just like our normal society relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and there's so much room for input if you both follow the one basic guideline, because all it preaches love, being there, sacrifice for each other. If I'm putting you first and you're putting you first, who's putting me first?
That part. Mm-hmm.
So when you allow to put God first, what is God's plan for you? What is God's plan for you? If you can't help that person or grow with that person, then it's okay. But if you can do that collectively and as a united front, I guarantee you will view genders differently because you'll have a you won't I used to visually objectify women because I'm a man and that's how it is. I
Not
can't
you.
do I can't do that anymore. I don't see that anymore. I see, you know what? Okay, sis, I see you. You strong. You're capable. Yeah, things are tough. You're hurting right now, but let's go get it. What can I do to serve you to help you get to your next, like your next mountain, your next
Mm-hmm.
peak? So when we look to serve each other. I'm telling you, put God first. Fill your room up with God in your relationship. I promise you, He's never let you down, and He
Never.
won't start now, and
Nope.
won't start now. So
That was good. That was some good stuff right there. I agree with you 1,000%.
thank you, thank you.
Because I love to pray for my man. I'm with you, I'm praying for you daily. That God covers you, that He shows you your purpose, that you're walking in divine order with Him. These are the things I do for the man that I'm with. And I need that covering too. Let's cover each other because we got to fight the world. I'm not going to come home and fight you.
You guys, hold on real quick. Did you notice how she said she prayed for him and none of that benefit her because she knows that when
Mm,
he's a better man, she gets the chance to be a part of that.
Yep.
So she didn't say, I wish he was better for me or that he got this for me. She just prayed for him individually because of who he is. And if we did that enough for each other, like if I do that with my spouse and if you did that with your spouse and all the way around, you'd be surprised what emotions and love you can unlock together
Yeah.
in a relationship.
Why not
Beautifully.
create heaven on earth, right? God gave
Come
us the
on,
ability
talk
to,
to
that's
him.
why it's not even about being in a relationship. I really try to make the interactions I have with people positive. Just
Well,
just in
if
general.
case in point, I've known you a month. Well, I think our first real interaction has been about a month, maybe a little more than a month,
Hmm.
and it's been nothing but pleasant. It's been very informative, funny banter. It's been very your view take on things have has. I was like, wow, okay, that's intriguing. Oh, you know what? I kind of want to. I'm gonna have to talk to her about something. I want to run ideas by you, and I mean, it's led us to this point here. So if you just have the outlook on serving people, and that doesn't mean like cooking, cleaning, and washing, just serving someone in the aspect of gentle, kind,
Hmm.
welcoming, warming, um, being empathetic, and
Yes.
in those things, that's all you have to do. And guess what? All of those things are free. Every last one of them are free.
It does, but I feel like we, like you said, you were a person who looked at women. Let's be honest, you objectified women. I was trying to
Oh,
clean it up.
100, 100.
Let me just say it. So I feel like as a woman who has gone through things, you can make six figures today, lose your job tomorrow. You can get sick. You can, get laid off. If I am only valuing you based on what you make, then what makes me any different from a man objectifying a woman's body?
You're absolutely right. You are one. I mean, you're 100% true. When you start basing those things on intangibles, you never
Yeah.
stood a chance in a relationship.
But look how many marriages, just people I know, I'm not gonna say no names, but
Mhm.
that based their who they married on what they could provide at that time, right?
That's
He
it's
looks
the
good.
horrible
She
truth.
looks good for me. He has this job. I'm gonna marry him. And I am a person. I can't be a stay at home mom. God bless y'all. I will lose my mind. I love my son, but I don't want to be around him. And he probably don't want to be around me either. But all day. I
Mhm.
feel like my value is to be out in the world and help people in whatever capacity that is. Like I've been doing clinical research in oncology for 14 years. And even though I'm not in the lab with people, I still indirectly help, eradicate cancer in this world.
There's a
You
connection
know what
there,
I mean? There's
correct?
a
Yes.
connection there. So I have always been a person who is always looking for a way to help people. And I need somebody with that same kind of energy who understands how passionate I am about that. And I feel like God put me on this earth to do that. And if you're my man and God put you to do whatever purpose that is, as your woman, I should be trying to help nurture that and help you reach that as well. Like that is really, what
Come
love
on, with a
is.
word, with a word. I receive it. I receive it. I do. That is, I, the definition of passion, right, is being able to, for me, and then, like I said, most all of these ideas and the stuff that I'm throwing up out of my mouth here are just, like I said, my personal beliefs or experiences.
Mhm.
My definition for passion is doing what you love to do, but would you do it for free?
Yep.
Okay. And
Mhm.
so you said like the interaction, the connection of being out to being able to change. I internally didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was fighting like, okay, what am I going to do? Like, what is it? Like, I knew how good I was at A, B, C, and X, Y, and Z. I wasn't empty, but I wasn't passionate. It wasn't until I
Mhm.
got a chance to start teaching when I saw the impact, or sorry, when God showed me what He wanted me to do and
Yeah.
let me see the impact on the people, on my students that I could have. And my students are all adults, and they range from 18 to 48 years old. And the impact that I've had with them over the last 4 years, there's nights when I can't sleep because
Mm.
I'm so just excited from a 3 hour class. And I'm just sitting there like, ooh, next week I can do this. Next week I can do this. Oh, remind me to reach out to this student because I know they're having a difficult time here. And just the way that God has allowed me to put myself into people's lives and to help them out in any capacity that I'm capable of is just the most rewarding. There's nothing better. and I'm a dad, and I've been a
Mhm.
husband, and I'm working on my PhD, and I have 2 college degrees, and I own my
Yep.
own home. None of that stuff means nothing until I got a chance to see the impact it had on someone else.
That's
And
beautiful.
so, mm,
That is beautiful. I don't know if I told you this, but I'm going back to school. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself too.
come on, let's go.
But I have been trying to avoid this purpose probably my whole life. But people literally, strangers will sit down and tell me their whole life story. And whatever interaction I have with them, they're like, you helped me get through whatever, whatever. And I feel like I'm blessed to be a blessing, right? So it
Come
keeps
on.
always bringing me back to being a counselor. And I'm like, I don't want to go to school. Like these student loans are kicking my behind. Like it's literally like the only debt I have. I'm like, why can't I paid off 3 cars and this debt's still here? Like I bought a house. I
Right,
sold a
right.
house. Like, why is this student loan still here? But you know, this is what God really put me on earth to do. And I feel like if I don't do it, I will never feel fulfilled. I will just keep working and doing this, because I'm good at what I do. But, like you said,
Is
it's
the
just like,
passion behind it. I could
uh,
lose every pair of shoes back here.
not the shoes.
But listen, I mean, you know how I feel, and you know how I feel. I could lose every one if it meant I'm able to impact my students the way, or just not my students, just people.
Hmm.
If I could serve other people the way that I am doing now, there's no other feeling. There's nothing. Oh, I get chills. There's nothing better than being able to serve somebody.
It really
There's
is.
there's nothing better.
Let me
So I
say, let me
appreciate
be.
you and all the things that you've done, that you're getting ready to accomplish,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm not going to say that you will, because you're gonna. All the
Yeah.
things that is set out in front of you, whatever you need from me, whether it's times when we need to get together via camera like this and we need to just chat it out. You want to run something by me, or if you said, "Hey, I need you to give me this aspect because I need this to be conveyed in a certain light," or this, whatever you need, like run it, run it. Let's go. I'm here for it. I'm here
Ready. I love
for
it.
it.
Yeah, no, this is what I have honestly it's been on my mind for a long time. Actually, after I got my bachelor's degree. So before I got my master's, I was like, how many degrees? How many alphabets do we want? This is like, but God sat me down and told me to get my MBA and get my MSW. This was in 2008.
Okay.
Got the MBA. So I got that
Congrats,
degree. And then I was
congrats.
like, oh, I don't want to go back to school.
But
Right?
who
Got
seeks who
married.
seeks that? Who seeks that, right? Yeah.
Got married, had a baby. I was like, life is life and I'm good. And it just kept coming back, coming back, coming back. So what I really want to specialize in is, because my mother died when I was 12, which is like a pivotal age for a young lady, right? You're going through some changes. Things are
Hmm.
growing, things are coming out your body you never seen before, right? And
It's life, yeah.
I didn't have that. And I feel like young girls from really middle school through high school, like before they go to college, there's like this opportunity to really help build their self esteem and self worth. And because sometimes these girls are ignored, whatever the situation is,
Yeah.
um, they go into the world thinking that their value is based on what they look like, what they can do for someone, how many likes they have, things
Yeah.
like that. And I just want them to know you don't have to be someone's wife to be valuable. You don't have to be someone's mother to be valuable. Like, you are valuable on who you are. Like, what do you want to do? What do you
Wow.
want to bring into this world? Because what I was raised on was, if you're not a wife and mother, it doesn't matter what degrees you have. You're nothing,
Right.
right?
Barefooting in the
Um,
kitchen, right? Yeah. That lifestyle.
so and we're taught as women to suppress our light so that the man that we're with can shine.
Yeah, you're never
So
supposed to outshine your man when you're that. Then that's women. When you hear this, men too. That just I hate hearing that.
yep.
First of all, I want to thank you, because I want to be one of the first ones to say thank you for what you're getting ready to do when you
Yep.
when you impact and reach out to these wonderful, wonderful, wonderful um, young adolescents and young adults who need help, and
Mhm.
creating a safe space for them.
Yep.
I only ask do one thing.
Sure.
People, we grew up in a society where we think potential has a limit,
Mhm.
and there is no limit on potential because it's infinite.
Yes.
So, and you are a potential teacher, and not in potential as in this is what you're going to do, as in the potential as you can convey that to them, that you're not a title, you're not a limitation. You're not just this. You are, I'm potential at 39 years old. I am potential for tomorrow, for next week, for 10 years, for a decade. We forget that our potential is limitless, and
Right.
there's no life, there's no timeline or life expectancy on potential. And I think I'm so happy that someone like you is going to be able to give that and teach that and show that to them. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I mean, I just feel like there's so much out there that's like all these. You know what I learned? This is a therapy thing I had to do. But I had a notebook, and anytime I had a negative thought, I would write it down in my notebook, right? And at the end of the night, I would have to reply to that negative thought with something positive.
Ooh, I like
Hmm.
that. I like
So
that.
you then train your mind to stop saying those negative thoughts to yourself, like, maybe I can't do that, or I'm too old for this, or whatever the case may be, and you reply with something positive. And once you start to trick your mind, it's like a Jedi mind trick. I love
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars. Yourself, then you will just do things that you can't even imagine you could have done. And the crazy part is that I know this is sometimes those negative thoughts in our mind are our parents' voices.
I, it's the people you hold closest to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's
So,
yourself, which is even closer.
mm, listen, this is where the work be. It's painful, but once you get on the other side, it's so much peace there. So I just encourage everyone to, if you're starting on your self love journey or whatever you want to call it, mine was called getting my shit together. Um, it was me honestly. God put me on my behind to let me know that I still needed Him, because sometimes you go through life thinking you got all these things and obtained all these things by yourself, and you didn't, right?
Ain't no
And you
way.
have to, and I told my sister this when I was in the hospital. I'm going through what I was going through. Like, I almost died a few times, and I was at the point where I would just remember having like all these like nurses and doctors around me, and I was like, okay, guys, this is what we about to do. Like, when you're really literally faced with death, it is so much easier to just be like, let's go. I'm tired of this place anyway. Than it is
Just to
to
give up.
stay and
Yeah.
fight to live. You know what I'm saying? So every day that I'm still here, I am grateful for. So some people pray every day. I thank God every day,
Come on. Come on. With
because
a word.
praying is wishing for something to happen. Being grateful is saying, God, thank you for the ability to do this, that, and the other. And I'm going to take what you give me and I'm going to bless somebody with this. The things that I do for people, I don't advertise. I don't understand when people do that. Like, why are you helping someone and then telling everybody you help someone?
Right.
Right?
That's
What
a
are you
false
doing this
motive.
for?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? The things I have done, the people who know about it. And I did it because God has blessed me to make decent money, praise God, be able to take care of myself and my child. And if I have
Amen.
enough to provide you with some kind of resource, I will do that.
And so
You
be it. Yeah.
know? And in dating, it's been like, why are you being so nice to so and so? Why? I'm like, because God has blessed me beyond what I can ask or think. Why would I not bless somebody else?
People think that's a reflection of your character when it's, or of their character, of the person that, because that's where they were making that judgment. When it's a reflection of who you are, it has nothing to do with that individual. It's a reflection of who you are as just a generosity rock star, as just an uplifting human being. So, while granted that person may be going through this, or they may have done this, or may have done that, the reflection of my character, of who I am, says a lot about me. So if I decide to continue to give and or have an acquaintanceship with someone,
Hmm.
that's because that's who I am, not because of who they are.
Exactly. So I just, again, I show love. Oh, there's another book that people should read. It's called Return to Love by, what is her name? Just look it up. It's popular. Right?
You said it was, what was it? Return the love.
Return to Love.
Okay.
And in that, because I turned all my phones off, so I can't look it up. I think it's Mary Williamson. I think.
Okay.
Um, she says every day we wake up with a choice. We can either choose love or we can choose fear. And that decision determines the rest of that day. Right? So every day I wake up and I choose love, because fear um, is where a lot of people get online, let's just say that, and they are bullying each other, talking down to each other. Like, what? it's so many people operating in fear that I don't know, operating in love is just so much easier for me because everyone's not going to like me. Everyone's not going to agree with what I have to say. It's always going to be something, but if I still am consistently showing you love regardless, that's all I
It's
can
easy.
do.
It's easier. It's fluid. It's more fluid in life.
Hmm.
You sleep better at night knowing that you did everything under the sun that from that previous day, and you did it with good intentions. You did it with love, and you did it while still being yourself. And there's no greater feeling. So, hats
Yeah.
off to you.
But please read that book. And then, what's it called? Kingdom Man
Yeah, Tony Evans,
by
Kingdom
Tony
Man,
Evans. And
great
then
book.
A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Another great book that honestly changed my life and helped me just see things differently as far as why we seek out validation externally. And it starts from childhood. Like we teach our kids so much things we don't even think about. It could be as small as, finish all your food on your plate, or you can't watch TV, or you can't go outside. And subconsciously, when we turn adults, we're like, we got to finish this food because there's a reward if we do it. You know what I mean? So we just got to be, mindful. It made me a better mom because now I have conversations. My son's older; he's 8 now, almost 9. So we have real conversations because at the end of the day, life is about choices, right?
Hmm.
And you're not always going to make the right choice. That's okay. But always have accountability for your mistake.
Agreed.
You can't, you're going to miss the mark and it's okay. But say, I messed up and I'm going to do this, this in the future. That's all you can do, right? But there
Yeah.
are consequences for your actions.
Accountability. Yeah, that's the first key.
Yeah, be
You
honest.
you you know what I would love to do? I would love to do
What's
this
that?
again with you, and I would love to do maybe that will like this would be a good talking point. Or you, I mean, listen, I'm grateful to be here, but I want to do this forever now. I was I was raised to be content when I should have been raised with joy, and there's a big difference between both
Mm.
of them. And so how you alluded to being raised a certain way. We were raised to
Mm-hmm.
be content with what we have instead of, and content is external, where joy is internal. If someone would have showed me how to be internally joyful in the inside, I'd be in a whole. I wouldn't say I'd be more successful or anything like that. I definitely would have had a different avenue that I would have went down growing up. So, with my children, I raised them to have joy, not to
Yeah.
be content. But I would love.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. This is I do I love what you're doing. I do, and whatever you need from me, please, please, please continue to reach out. This is amazing.
I sure will. No, honestly, the reason I came up with the amazingly dope podcast is we're all amazingly dope, right? Is because we sometimes don't realize how amazing we are. Like, we are looking for everybody else to tell us. They're like, no, you are amazingly dope. You don't need anybody to justify or validate that. When you look in the mirror, you should know you have everything you need inside of you right now. And if nothing changes, you're okay. You're okay. You are still
Amen.
here. There's another day to fight to be what you want to be. So that's the whole purpose of this. It was me going through my therapy journey and just being like, how can I help other people, reach the point where I am with this level of peace? Because now I protect my peace at all costs. I might be, it's not that it's fear based. It's just that when I see it coming to me, I'm like, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go this
Right.
way with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. I get it. I get you. I get it. I
um,
get it. I get it.
So yeah, we'll definitely do something again. I try to record every 2 weeks. So I've been getting comments that I need to have some women on here. So I might do like a whole panel. The reason I do it this way is because when you have a lot of people involved, sometimes people talk over each other. The message isn't clear, but when it's two people, it's conversational. We can get more out of this. So we'll see.
Definitely, I agree. This has been very informative. You got my brain. I almost feel like a night of class because now I got my brain going. I'm ready to write. I got my book, my pen right here. listen, I'm ready to write some keynotes and some things that I made myself aware of personally by just having just a conversation. So thank you.
No worries. And what I did to help me, just for those out there, so you write, which is great. I use the voice memo on my iPhone, and I literally talk to myself, right? So let me
Hmm.
it's so funny. Okay. So the last dude that I attempted to date, we don't use attempt. And I would like be like, dear diary, blah 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 blah, da 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 da, da, right? And then I would listen back to it, like let's say a month later, and like by the third entry, I'm like, I'm tired of her ass. Like, why is she still with him? Why is
Right,
she still
right.
talking to him?
Hmm.
Because it makes you go into third person, like, are we really talking about this dude still? Like, he did this, this, and this. Why are we still continuing on with this? And it makes you like, oh, okay, I need
Yeah.
to stop. So for
It's
me,
like
hearing my
episode
own
three, and
voice, okay, this is season three of the same crap. So
yes,
it's
yes.
so yeah, I'm just that's what I do. So if writing works for you, right? The way my carpal
Hmm.
tunnel set up, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Right,
This is
right.
my like, Street Fighter thumb that
Got
just
you.
went out. Yeah, because I used to love
Okay,
video
gamer.
games.
I hear you. I hear
Um,
you.
so whatever works for you, but thank you so
Express it,
much.
right? Express
Express
it.
it, get it
Yes,
out.
yes. Get
So
it
I
out.
write a lot of poetry. People don't know. My poetry's a little vulgar though.
To each their own. To each
Mm,
their own. You gonna drop
mm.
a little poetry right here at the end of this? Is this what we're doing? Okay.
Do I have any? Do I have it on here? See, this is the kind of stuff that I'm like, do I want to do this?
On the Lord's Day on a Sunday? No, I'm kidding.
Oh Lord, oh Jesus! Don't even get me feel bad. Like, oh God. Let's see if I have anything on here. Ooh, did I write this? So I type, of course, all I do is type at work. So, oh, I did. Okay, I got one. It's short.
Okay.
Can you still hear me? Can you still see me? Because I
Loud and clear. Oh
left.
yeah.
Okay. Oof. It's called Your Eyes. Okay. When you look me in my eyes, I realize this place we have created, where we have grown, where we have elevated, has me tearing down my walls and looking for a new foundation. Every question you answer, all doubts you erase. I can stand still with you, my fears you erase. I didn't think that someone like you could exist. The more I run away from you, the more you persist. You don't ever pressure me, you reassure me that only God could bring this together and no woman can take you from me. Hold on, I gotta scroll down.
Bars.
Living living a
Sorry, sorry, sorry.
life living a life full of disappointments, I was guarded. You saw my wounds, you knew I was brokenhearted. Instead of judgment, you gave me empathy. You took the time to see what was inside of me. You allowed me to be pink and soft and supporting, to be your cheerleader in your corner every morning. I can look past your flaws as you look past mine. I love your essence and how you linger on my mind. I can't wash this off with soap. I can't let go of the hope of the life that I deserve, to be loved like I'm on heaven, but I'm still on earth.
Come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it. You didn't have to leave. Listen. You have a gift. You have a gift. However you decide, whatever platform, whichever road you want to take to get there, you have a gift. And I just want to sit back and watch. So I'm so happy to be a part of this. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You got
Wow.
me doing poetry. Oh my God.
Come
Yeah,
on.
that just came out of like when it comes, it comes. And I just start writing. So my other ones are a little dirty though, I ain't gonna lie. It's like, when you've been single for a while, you have those moments, right? Yeah, memories,
I got you.
things of that
Got you. Got
nature.
you.
But this
Right,
was a
right.
clean one. I was like, let me do this family friendly one,
It
right?
was beautifully
So
written. Beautifully written.
thank you. So yes, we definitely will do this again. Thank you so much for coming and giving your insight. I feel like you're going to bless a lot of people with the things you said, men and women. Again, I believe that feminine energy does play a part as well as masculine, but it's more or less of what you're actually looking for. Are you subscribing to what society says a man should be and a woman should be? I think that's kind of the main issue. What is a man to you? What is a woman to you?
Correct.
Right? Because what is masculine to me may not be masculine to another woman, right? Um, I feel like real alpha males are gentle enough to know how to love their woman. So it naturally allows her to believe, like you said, words matching actions, giving that reassurance is really to me a real alpha male.
I would
So
agree.
it's easy for me to follow a man that I trust. If I don't trust you, then I don't
I
know.
like that. I like that. I mean, I'll expand on that later on and write some notes. I like that. It's easy for you for a woman to follow a man she can trust.
Yeah.
I like
That's
it.
it.
I
It
like
doesn't
that.
matter your occupation, height, size,
Right,
any of
right,
that.
right.
We can look
Do
past
I
all of that
trust
if
you?
I
Yeah.
trust you. Do you, like you said, do you have my back?
Oh, so important.
It is.
So
So
important.
thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank you. It's been
everyone.
such a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much for this.
It's been an honor for me. Like I said, I find you extremely intriguing. Thank you for your insight and just the passion you have in that classroom. Again, I don't know what the hell you was talking about when I was in there. I Trigonometry is where I shine. Math and algebra, I had to take it again. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I hear
Science
you.
is
I hear
my
you.
my field house, but I see the passion you have, how you stay after class to talk to, your students and let them ask you questions. Like that is what every student hopes that their professor is like, you know?
I, I wish I would have had that too. Yeah. So if I can be that
Hmm.
for somebody, then by all means, it's your God-given duty to help someone if you're able to. That's just how I feel. So
That's exactly how I feel. So I'm going back to school and I'm like, Lord, help me.
come on, come on. What a word today. What a word. I love
I
it.
just feel like I have so much inside to give to the world. And God is just using me in whatever capacity that He can. So I'm just going to allow Him to do His thing through me. And if I got to take a back seat for a minute, it's okay. That's why I'm like, a relationship isn't a priority right now. And I feel like sometimes, as attractive people in this world, it's going to say that you get thrown with a lot of options. And then you got to shift through the options to see which one is actually an option.
Mm, it's like looking for old winter coats. You're like, no, no, no.
Like, this doesn't
Yes.
fit me anymore. This is
Yeah,
too
yeah,
long. This is too, right?
exactly. Is that corduroy? We ain't wearing that.
Corduroy. Ooh, baby.
Mm-mm.
So for me, it's like I don't want to be distracted from what I have, but I feel like the right person won't be a distraction. They will help nurture what God has for me and vice versa, right? So I'm patient. It is what it is. I'm blessed every day just to still
Good
be
things are
here.
coming for you. I can feel it. Good things
Yeah.
are coming for you. So, yes, I'm excited to watch you grow on this journey and to see all the lives you'll impact. So, this is
You
amazing.
too. You
Thank you, thank you,
too.
thank you, thank you.
By the way, are you feeling better, sir?
Yes, yes, I'm
Okay.
much
All
better.
right.
I mean, it's supposed to be braced and wrapped right
I
now,
was gonna
but
say something because I was like, I don't see anything on
yeah, I know the actual splint and cast are sitting right here, and I didn't want to be up there
there.
and
Oh,
have my
my bad.
hand. But yeah, so it's fine. Okay, just drop me off on Front Street. It's fine. Just pull up and
I'm
just
sorry.
no, no, you're good. You're good. So I have two broken fingers for the
Yeah, I was
record.
like, we should
So
probably explain why she that it was a little weird.
so that's why I was clapping like this. It's because this bottom hand. Yes. So. Mm-hmm. So
But he's a very smart, intelligent man
thank you.
who does great work in the community as well for the area that he works in. His work is impactful, and we need more men like you, right? So keep doing your thing. I love to see the growth as well. We'll do this again soon. You are great,
Thank you so
great
much for being
co-host.
a great host. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're a great
I
host. Don't
appreciate
cry.
you.
Now, I'm not
I
gonna lie, that
appreciate you.
doll behind you scares the
Oh,
hell out of me.
okay. Yeah. So I listen. It was okay. I bought it. I was gonna say I bought it. Okay. We talking about being, I bought it, but
That's
I've
your
had it for
boo, but
years and it's
hmm
October 1st and it's Halloween's coming and I, no, it's,
I get it. I mean, I do have this thing
I
for
like
Michael
Halloween.
Myers, which
Yes.
I know it's weird. And my sister's like, "What is wrong with you?" Oh my
I get
god,
it. I get
it's
it.
it's
Listen, I get it.
weird though. It's weird. Like I shouldn't be this attracted to this man, right?
He's the definition of persistence.
He
You know what I
really is. He
mean?
ain't giving up.
He ain't giving up. So.
And the thing is, I don't even like scary movies, but I've seen every single Halloween, every single one.
Hmm.
because he don't even run.
Nope.
You throw him out a window, you burn him, he just pops back up.
That's the kind of love. That's the kind of love that I want. So yeah, just you don't have to run, baby, but just always be there. You know what I mean? So.
I'm just saying. So thank you for everything.
Thank
I
you. It was a
appreciate
pleasure.
you. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see
Yeah,
you
thanks,
next
guys.
time.
All right, guys.
Bye.
We'll see ya. Bye bye.